Okay, I think we're on the air. Live! We're on video. Okay, I was hoping to make a plan of making a video every day. And today is another day. Yesterday was my first day of the videos. Today is the second day. Okay, and then I want to make a video while there's some decent lighting outside. And so I can get this done, and then maybe I can go cross-country skiing. But first I have to find my ski boots. I don't know where they are. My cross-country ski boots. But meanwhile, let's get down to the topic here. Well, let's see here. My topic for today is I don't understand why the alt-right continues to support Donald Trump. There's about 4 different bullet points that provide me that puzzlement. The first one is Trump's appointments, or trying to appoint at least 3 Goldman Sachs boys to his cabinet. And for a variety of reasons, the alt-right has not been a fan of Goldman Sachs, to put it mildly. Related to that is the Federal Reserve banking system, also known as the Fed, simply. Alt-right does not like the Fed either. And I've heard some hopes from that alt-right community that Trump is going to somehow end the Fed. But I have not heard or seen or read anything from the Trump campaign or Trump himself, any indication at all that he's actually going to do that and end the Fed at all, or even audit the Fed. So I think it's just a hope. It's a dream of the alt-right, and for some reason they've attached that dream to Trump, but I think that's without merit. There's no indication, especially after he's appointed all those Goldman Sachs boys to his cabinet. I don't see it happening, and I don't think it's well-grounded hope that he's going to end the Fed or even audit the Fed. The second point is Trump's desire to ease libel laws so that it'll be easier for people that criticize him to be sued for libel. That would be a very anti-libertarian move on Trump's part. But the alt-right has traditionally been very pro-libertarian, pro-freedom. But if people are not going to be able to speak what they think about political figures such as Trump or anybody else, that would be very restrictive on people's freedom of speech. Also, I don't think the alt-right is realizing that any such easing of libel laws is a two-way street, so that it'll be also end up, if the libel laws are eased, then it'll be easier for somebody on the left to sue a blogger, an alt-right blogger, on the right wing. The left will be able to, lefty bloggers will be, or politicians will be able to sue right wing bloggers for things that the lefty politician could consider defamatory towards them. It'll now be easier for that to happen as well. So it would restrict freedom of speech all around, regardless of what your political persuasion is. It'd be a very, very anti-libertarian move, and therefore Trump is showing himself to be against freedom. Third point, the drug war. Traditionally, the alt-right is opposed to the drug war. I think they also think that drug war has been an abysmal failure. I happen to agree with that. Even though I tend to be more lefty myself, lefty progressive, but I think the drug war is a huge mistake, a huge failure, and it should be ended. But Trump has instead seems to indicate that he wants to increase enforcement. He thinks that that's the answer. He says he's going to be a law and order president. Additionally, he claims that the wall he wants to build across the Mexican border is going to stop those all those drugs from getting over here. I don't know how he thinks that is in this day and age of drones, where a drone airplane could fly over the wall, or you can have a drone submarine or drone boat float over or under the Gulf of Mexico. It could be filled with drugs. You can avoid the wall altogether that way for the drug smugglers. I don't see how a wall is going to help much at all for the war on drugs. And of course, enforcement's not going to, as shown to be, all it does is lowers the supply. With the demand staying without affecting the demand. So that the demand would just cause with the lower supply, economics 101, the price of the drugs will just go up. And people will just, the drug addicts will have to engage in more criminal activity to get the money they need to support their habits, because the drug prices will go up. That's all that's going to happen. They'll just have more crime overall by increasing enforcement of drug laws. And the fourth point is the immigration enforcement that Trump wants to increase. He wants to deport so many more people. But in order to do that, the only way to do it would be to have more of the jackbooted government thugs, as the alt-right likes to call them. They'd have to have some of those jackbooted thugs would be kicking in lots of doors. So many of those immigrants are not going to voluntarily just leave. They'll have to be forcibly taken from their homes by these government jackbooted thugs kicking in people's doors, and taking them up in buses and train cars. Additionally, there's be so many of them, given today's immigration laws that require all immigrants or deported people that are being deported, they have to have a hearing before an immigration judge before they can be deported. So we already have, even given the current workload, an overtaxed immigration court system. As a result, all these deportees will have to wait perhaps months or if not years before they could have a hearing with an immigration judge. And so where were they going to house all of these deportees while they wait for a hearing? Well, Alex Jones has been warning us for years that we're going to be rounded up and put in FEMA camps. Well, maybe that's what will happen. If you don't know, Alex Jones is one of the big people in the alt-right community, a big Trump supporter. But he's Alex Jones has been saying, we're going to put people are going to be rounded up by the government and put in these FEMA camps. Well, maybe that's where they're going to put all these allegedly undocumented immigrants. I say allegedly because, well, people don't have like a sign flashing on their forehead saying, I'm here legally. So you don't know. There's going to be a lot of innocent people, the people that are here legally, and that are going to get rounded up too. But they're not going to have a hearing for maybe years because the system is so backed up. So they'll end up in these detention camps for years, waiting to make their case that they're innocent. They're here illegally. I mean, some of them may be some political dissidents that don't like Trump, but due to some clerical error, they'll end up rounded up as well and put in those detention camps. And then they won't have any chance to make their case that they're innocent because the court system, the immigration court system, is so backed up. And the private prisons will be filled up too. They like that. The private prisons will love such a Trump deportation plan because they make lots of profits for them, housing people. So that just doesn't make sense. It's against the principles of the libertarians, of the alt-right. They're against the government rounding up millions of people without any due process. The alt-right's supposed to be against the jackbooted thugs kicking in millions of people's doors. So that just doesn't make sense to me. Why the alt-right continues to support Trump, or why they supported him so much before the election. It doesn't make any sense to me. Well, that's all I have for now. That's my commentary for today. Thank you.